Hello and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. We've got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to get right into it. Last week I was able to create a POC for exporting React.js components via Nimble. And that new feature was achieved by creating a plugin design. That design enabled me to really daydream about how I can use it to extend the functionality in Nimble in the future. So I took a few hours yesterday to break down Nimble into its most generic components. And I was able to build approximately 7 or 8 plugins that extend it to make the IDE look and have all the functionality that we're used to in Nimble. So basically all the functions and enhancements that we see, tools that we have in Nimble are now extended through a plugin. They're not directly compiled into the application itself. So the view state manager, project build, all the tools for theming colors, the toolbar editor, message box editor, I-18 language support, wireframe editor, the entire drag drop interface, components, REST services, and of course third-party components are now extended via plugins. If I take and load up let's load up a project in Nimble that is just the core factories. And this is a project that I often reference. It has all of the core libraries that make Nimble function. It's just a bunch of pure JavaScript files. That's factories. And you'll notice that the IDE, all of the tabs are disabled. The packages, import and remove package manager is gone. There's no view state manager. You can't build a project. You only see interface settings. All the tools are disabled. Basically, all the drag drop functionality has been turned off. I wanted to get the IDE to this state so that I can cleanly support other frameworks without having any functionality or features conflict with each other. But that's just the tedious part of this effort. I think the most cool part about what I've done is in the plugin interface. And I was able to create an additional plugin. It's what I call an administrator plugin called Secure. This Secure plugin allows me to distribute JavaScript source of plugins safely. And what it does, let me close that guy off. What it enables me to do, I'm going to take a look at a plugin called the View State Manager. It allows me to build a plugin, and I was able to create a back-end API of 3 REST services to register a plugin, verify, and then verify a plugin name to see if it exists. And it will use a technique very similar to blockchain, a SHA-256 hash, and stamp a signature on your JavaScript file of the plugin. Nimble, when you try to import or install a plugin, if it does not have a proper signature, of course, it'll warn you. If the signature fails, it will alert you of a critical failure. That means the file itself has been altered. So once this plugin is generated with this signature, any edit that I put on this text, any change that I put in the comments or even within the strings, the string static text itself will be registered as a conflict change, and it will change the hash, and Nimble will alert you accordingly. I just found this to be a really nice and safe way to distribute your source code without having to worry if it has been altered. Heaven knows all the security alerts and issues you get when you use NPM, where you download megabytes and megabytes of JavaScript, and you have no idea what the developers have necessarily edited within the packages. This is a secure way for me to enhance Nimble and distribute any source code and enhancement via plugins, and not have to, worry users that the code has been altered because it is security stamped. So I'm going to give you a look at how that works. So I just select the Secure plugin, and right now I can use the project build plugin. So if I select this plugin and I'm going to send it to the server to be stamped, it will detect that the name already exists on the server. Do you want to update the hash? And I say yes. And version 1.09 has been registered. If I go to the project, you see that it's not loaded currently in this particular project because this is a factory project. If I open up a Nimble-based project that includes dialogues, you will notice that I now have the build project. When I click about, you'll see the about information. So let's say 6 months from now, I decide to add an enhancement to it. I can go to the project build plugin, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a comment here just to show you that it auto updates. Testing update. When I save this plugin down, if I were to import this plugin or use this plugin as is, it would fail because I altered the text and the hash is not matching. I've altered the code. So I have to re-register this plugin. It will update the hash and it's at 1.1 now. If I go back to the file, you'll see this is the original hash. When I say reload it, you should see this number change. And it does based off of the change that I just added. Now note, I've not imported the plugin. Here's a project build, and you'll notice it does not have the update. When I load the next, open up the next project, it checks for all update plugins that are installed and any updated plugins. And now, if I go to the build project, you should see the update because it updated the plugin that was on the server. It only auto updated because the security hash passed on all stages of the update process. Simply one change. If we change, let's see if I change this file by just removing the G and save it, and if I try to manually install this plugin, okay, I've altered the hash. I'm about to manually install the build plugin, and it gives you an alert. The plugin security signature has failed, and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to install it? In this case, you should always say no. Just wanted to give you an idea and give you a look at the new enhancements to extend Nimble in the future. Broke it down to its bare minimum, made the core Nimble platform a series of plugins, secured any distributable JavaScript with a SHA-256 hash and a REST API endpoint. And now I think I'm ready to start supporting React.js, Vue, Angular, or whatever framework comes along. The Nimble solution. Thank you for watching.